The most forgotten code of spirituality is locked at the center of your body. Hidden between vertebrae, impulses, and ancient silences. It vibrates unnoticed, not because it is invisible, but because you were trained to ignore everything that is dense, internal, and essential. You were taught to look upward, to believe that ascension happens in the sky. But the real gateway begins on the ground of your body. The traditions that have withstood time knew this. Spirit anchors in the bone. Every vision needs an embodied axis to stay alive. Today, that axis is out of alignment, bent by haste, frozen by fear, trapped in tensions that are not yours, yet they dictate your daily vibration. As long as this circuit remains dormant, nothing can blossom with stability. There is an energetic triad between the sacrum, the psoas, and the pineal gland that does not obey the mind. It only responds to presence, and it only reveals itself to those who choose to descend. To descend not as a fall, but as a ritual of return. Because anything that rises without roots collapses. This is not a sequence of information. It is a mirror of what your body already knows. You lost access, but the code still pulses. It is not about learning, it is about remembering. And that remembering is in the body. There is a vibrational code that was never revealed in books. It does not appear in chakra diagrams, nor in modern spiritual manuals, because it was not made to be memorized. It was made to be activated. It is a code that begins at the base of your spine, moves through the emotional center of the body, and culminates at the most subtle point of your perception. It is not linear, it is spiral, and that is exactly why it was forgotten, because it demands descent before ascent, presence before promise, courage before the miracle. This code was once described in ancient symbols. In Egypt, the jed pillar; in Hermeticism, the staff with intertwined serpents; in your physiology, it vibrates between the sacrum, the psoas, and the pineal gland. This is the spine of consciousness, the silent structure that sustains your ability to manifest with coherence. There is no clarity without alignment. There is no manifestation without an energetic foundation. There is no awakening without going through the body you inhabit. Modern techniques speak of vibration but ignore the anatomy of vibration. They touch the surface, but not the core. Do you want real transformation? As long as your axis is out of alignment, your intention will have a voice, but no reach. When the flow between sacrum and pineal gland is restored, your frequency stops asking and starts commanding. You do not need another ritual. You need to align the path through which your energy flows. This path is internal, structural, timeless. It does not need to be built. It already exists. But it is suffocated by tension, trauma, and memories. This video is an act of release, not a teaching, a remembering, not a concept, a reunion. And if you walk this journey with presence, something within you will no longer be the same. The so-called emerald tablets are not just a text. They are a vibrational field, a code that reveals itself not through reading, but through tuning in. Each word is a frequency, each symbol is a door, and none of these doors open with the mind. The phrase "as above, so below" is not a metaphor, it is a living equation. The human body is the replicated architecture of the cosmos, and the spine is its axis. In ancient Egypt, this axis was symbolized by the jed pillar, a totem of energetic stability, regeneration, and ascension. It was not a decoration. It was a memory carved in stone. The divine dwells in the structure. In initiation rituals, the body was the first temple. Before any expansion, the foundation had to be aligned, because without an axis, no light can be sustained. The ancient schools did not separate science from spirituality. To them, the body was a map, an exact reflection of celestial forces, each center a sleeping star waiting for resonance. The sacrum held the energy of the serpent, the psoas, the unreleased emotional records, the pineal gland, the vision that pierces through layers. Together, these 3 points form the ladder of return, a living spiral built between density and light. Over time, this language was distorted. The body became an object, the soul an abstraction, and the temple was forgotten, locked from within. But the symbols never stopped vibrating. The spine is the staff. The serpents are the flows. The chalice of eternal life is you in coherence. It is not a metaphor. It is subtle engineering. And when the body is remembered as a field, it responds. Something curious is happening in the most advanced laboratories in the world. Phenomena once attributed to mysticism are now being measured in graphs and brainwaves. Scans, frequency meters, and heart sensors reveal the body vibrates, emits a field, and responds as a living intelligence. In studies conducted by Dr. Joe Dispenza, trained meditators showed energy surges rising through the spine, reaching the pineal gland, which lights up like a radar when consciousness elevates. This process activates hormones, reorganizes the electromagnetic field, and alters the perception of reality. The pineal gland, once a mystery, is now recognized as a photosensitive structure capable of converting energetic impulses into transformative chemistry. The psoas, in turn, is not just a muscle, it is an emotional archive that reacts before the mind, directly affecting the nervous system. And at the foundation of it all, the sacrum, strongly connected to the vagus nerve, it influences your sense of presence and stability. Science confirms what the ancients already knew intuitively. The sacrum-psoas-pineal axis is real, measurable, and when activated, it changes everything. Everything starts with the foundation, and the foundation lies in the sacrum. No matter how many mantras you chant or visualizations you practice, if the base is blocked, no frequency can be sustained. The sacrum is the throne of vital energy, the origin of the vibration that either rises or collapses. But it does not respond to mental intention. It responds to embodied presence, movement, breath, and listening. If you ignore the sacrum, you ignore the birth of your field. It is there that the body begins to remember. Lie down with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Bring your attention to the base of your spine, as if listening to an ancestral drum. Inhale deeply, expanding the lower belly. Exhale with sound, not just any sound, but one that resonates with what has been trapped. Repeat for 2 minutes. Feel the warmth, the tingling, the waves that move in silence. Do not expect explosions. Expect subtle responses, sighs, spasms, dense vibrations returning. When they come, stay with them. That is the signal. The root is starting to speak again. Stay there, steady, present. This is the beginning of the return. If the sacrum is the root, the psoas is the guardian. It does not speak in words, it cries out in tension. It is not just a muscle. It is a vibrational oracle, shaped by everything you did not know how to feel. Every fear, every abandonment, every silence settled there, stored, tightened, forgotten, but never resolved. And as long as the psoas remains closed, the flow between the centers stays blocked. You can meditate for hours and still be stuck in the invisible. Release begins with listening. Lie down on a firm mat. Place a pillow under your knees. Relax your hips. Place your hands on your lower abdomen. Feel what is hidden behind the stiffness. Inhale for 4 counts. hold for 2. Exhale through your mouth, slowly. As you breathe, say, I release what the body held to protect me. Repeat 3 cycles of 3 minutes each. Rest for 1 minute between each cycle. Do not force anything. The release will come as a sigh, heat, tears, or memory. Accept it all. Here, you are not stretching. You are letting go. And as you let go, the field begins to reorganize, silently, deeply. The awakened axis moves upward, and everything converges toward the pineal gland. But not as an escape, rather as a natural response from an aligned body. The pineal does not create images. It picks up frequencies. It translates vibrations into perceptions. When activated, you stop seeing the world as it appears and start sensing it as it vibrates. But this does not happen through effort. It happens through coherence. And coherence begins with the breath. Sit with your spine upright. Relax your jaw. Let your tongue drop from the roof of your mouth. Gently close your eyes. Bring your attention to the point between your eyebrows. Observe from the inside out. Breathe in for counts. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold empty. Repeat for 5 minutes. At the end of each minute, say, I tune in to the invisible. This practice does not bring magical visions. It refines your antenna, and over time, you begin to sense what once went unnoticed. The pineal gland awakens with frequency, not with force. Tune in, breathe, listen. Vision is coming back home. In the beginning, it was not pain. It was just a subtle discomfort, as if something inside him was out of place, yet still functioning. His name was Elliot, 37 years old, restless mind, a compulsive reader of everything related to energy, consciousness, and spirituality. He had already been through intensive retreats, read leading authors, and studied Eastern traditions. He could name chakras, identify patterns, and explain the levels of reality with clarity. But inside, there was a silent weight that no theory could dissolve. He felt something was missing, but he couldn't tell what it was. His body was always tired, his posture misaligned, his breath shallow, as if his spirituality were suspended in the air, without a foundation. Until one day, during a casual conversation, he heard someone say, "You cannot access spirit while ignoring structure." That sentence struck like lightning. It wasn't just an idea, it was a calling. That same night, Elliot lay down on the living room floor, in total silence, with no music, no distractions. He had read somewhere that the sacrum was the root of vibration, so he decided to start there. Slowly, he brought his attention to the base of his spine and felt something he had never noticed before, a dense, ancient warmth, almost alive. He took a deep breath and released the air with sound, as if giving voice to what had been trapped there for years. Minutes later, his body began to tremble, not from fear, but from release. The tears came, confusing images, memories he didn't know he still carried. And then, silence. But it was a different kind of silence, not empty, but full of presence. In the following days, something changed. The pains that used to appear without reason began to dissolve. His racing thoughts slowed down naturally, and most importantly, his perception became sharper, as if he could sense the environment beyond what his eyes could see. By the second week, he had learned to listen to the psoas, not as a muscle, but as the guardian of everything the heart could not express. And there he found another release. By the time he reached the pineal gland, he was no longer seeking visions, only connection. And that is how it opened, without effort, without spectacle, without expectation, simply as the result of a journey that began on the ground. Elliot did not become a master. He did not create methods. But he discovered something no one had ever told him. The body knows the way, and when you listen to it, it responds with vibration, with presence, with truth. This truth does not come from books. It comes from the spine, and it pulses in the silence of someone who has finally returned within. There is an invisible lock that silences the body even before the practice truly begins. It does not appear as an obvious block, but as a subtle fog that covers perception, impatience, doubt, self-sabotage. You set out to do the exercise, but soon you feel the silence is empty, the breath is shallow, and the body ... gives nothing. The mind steps in and coldly declares, "This isn't working." But the truth is something else. It's not that it isn't working, it's that the language of the body moves on a different timeline, slower, more honest, more profound. And this gap between what you expect and what is revealed is the real obstacle, because your structure spent years being trained to suppress its own vibration. Expecting it to open instantly is like trying to bloom in soil that hasn't yet been watered. And so you give in. You give up. You return to the mind, to the stimuli, to the familiar cycle of disconnection. But there is a key that few know: silent vibrational consistency. It does not demand complex techniques or theatrical rituals. It demands presence. 3 minutes a day. Same time, same place, same body. Deep breathing into the sacrum. Attentive listening in the psoas. Refined silence in the pineal. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Because the body does not open through force. It opens through trust. And trust is born of consistency, not intensity. It is the small, repeated gesture that undoes the old blocks. It is the loyalty to presence that rebuilds the field. Keep going even without signs. Keep going even when it feels pointless. Keep going even when everything in you says there is no change. Because it is right there, at the point where you almost stop, that the body begins to respond. It does not respond to pressure. It responds to care, to respect, to patience. And when it realizes you've truly stayed ... it opens the door, and everything begins to vibrate differently. You started this video searching for something outside. But maybe you've realized, along this journey, that the real path is inward, and that it was silently waiting for you. The axis between sacrum, psoas, and pineal is not an abstract concept. It is an ancestral technology embedded in your very biology. It pulses in the body you inhabit, in the spaces you ignore, in the layers numbed by haste, routine, and the noise of the world. Today, you didn't learn something new. You remembered. And remembering is a profound act of reconnection with what has always been yours. There is no longer an excuse to live fragmented. There is no more room for a spirituality disconnected from the flesh. From this point on, every breath is a choice, every gesture a point of alignment. And that alignment does not begin in thought. It begins in the body, in the temple, in the spine that holds you in every direction. That spine is your antenna, your bridge, your vibrational staff of creation. And it does not matter what happens out there, if your axis is whole within, nothing can truly throw you off balance. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you learn to remain awake even in the midst of chaos. Plotinus once said, "Return to yourself and look. If you do not yet see yourself as beautiful, act as the sculptor." This is the vibrational art, to sculpt yourself from within until you recognize the sacred that already exists in you. Because when you know your body as a living code, you begin to shape reality as a conscious creator, no longer as a confused spectator. Wisdom is not only in the books, It is in the bone that pulses, in the muscle that holds, in the breath that releases. From this moment on, every sensation is a signal, every discomfort a calling, every present moment a point of access. Ascension is not something to be sought. It is something that emerges once you remove what blocks it from revealing itself. The light does not come from outside. It rises when the inner path is reopened, and that path has already begun. Feel it, integrate it, and walk as someone who knows. The temple is not the destination. The temple is you. If this content touched something true within you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications. This helps keep this frequency alive and brings this wisdom to more people. Write in the comments the mantra phrase, "I awaken the sacred triad. My body is the temple of consciousness." This is your vibrational declaration, and it will be felt. Share this video with someone who needs to remember that spirituality is not in the air, but in the structure that supports every breath. And click the screen to watch another transformative video aligned with this same vibration. You did not come this far by chance. You heard the inner calling. And now, the path is no longer theoretical. It is tangible. It is alive. It is yours. Activate. Integrate. Walk, because an awakened body is a soul that has returned home.